Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today we're going to do a little video on some of the books that I would love to reread. I'm not typically a big rereader. There's just so many books so little time, and I don't want to consistently go back to the same things because there's new things for me to explore, but the books in this pile are just legitimately books that I want to reread. I would like to make a disclaimer for this channel and say that it goes without saying that the entire Realm of the Elderling series, written by Robin Hobb, is of course on this list. But we don't have enough time to go through all 16 books of that series. I'm not even complete with that series yet. I still have 7 books left to finish. So you can watch my How to Read Robin Hobb video if you would like to know more about that series. If you haven't heard of it, if this is your first time tuning into one of my videos and you haven't heard me talk about Robin Hobb, my favorite author. It goes without saying that that is the series of mine that I always want to reread, and I foresee myself rereading that series. So let's get to some other books, shall we? The first one that I would like to mention, this is The Name of the Wind, written by Patrick Rothfuss. This was one of the best books that I read for the year 2017. This was actually my favorite read that I picked up, and if you'll notice, I have a different cover. I have a different edition. I did pick up the UK edition. I still have my original copy, but this is one of my favorite books, and I really want to annotate this book. Like, this is a book that I legitimately would like to reread and annotate because there's just so many details in here. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of Kingkiller Chronicles theories that sometimes I hop onto Reddit and read through all of those, and then my brain hurts. But I wanted to get a different copy. How high maintenance is this? I wanted to get a different copy that I could annotate so I could keep my big one looking nice, and because I feel like the size of this one is a really good annotating size that I can just like make notes and all that stuff without having to have like the gigantic book in front of me. So this is definitely on my list of books to reread. This follows Kvothe. He is telling the story of his life over the course of 3 days. And that's like kind of the only thing you can say to someone who's never encountered The Name of the Wind, but it follows his life story. This first book is my favorite of the 2, but I'm so rooting for this guy all the time. I just want to reread this and annotate the crap out of it. Another book series that I really want to reread is the entire Game of Thrones series. This is another one that I would like to annotate as well. The first time that I read this was several years ago. I finished the entire series before I even heard about BookTube, so this is a long time book series that I've had in my possession that I would really like to reread. It's not because of the last season of Game of Thrones coming out in April. I actually am rewatching the whole HBO series right now. But this is just something that there's so many details again that I would just really like to get back into this and annotate it and see if I can make any connections knowing what I know now. It's been so long since I've actually read the physical copies of them that this is something that I desperately want to get to. I've thought about rereading this year. Like last year I reread the Harry Potter books. Not the same thing. This is so much more of a hefty series to reread and a commitment that you really have to make for yourself, but it is something that I do want to get to maybe this year, so we'll see. So this is Game of Thrones, written by George R.R. Martin. And then this is The Pillars of the Earth, written by Ken Follett. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I've only read it the one time. So because it's my favorite book, and I completely fell in love with this book, I just want to reread it again. I've held on to it so dear, but this is definitely one that I know I'm not going to get to this year in terms of rereads, because if you watched my intimidating TBR tag, I put World Without End in that video, and that's technically the sequel to this book, even though it takes place hundreds of years after the events of this one, but it takes place in the same town. I want to get to that one, so maybe I should read World Without End first before rereading this one, because World Without End has been on my TBR for years. Oh my gosh, 2 favorites of mine. We have Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and then we have Wundersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow. Oh my gosh, Jessica Townsend totally rocked my world last year with these 2 books. These were both 5-star reads for me, and that was like so unexpected. I didn't expect to like fall so hard for these 2 books. But this one I read because of the BookTube SFF Awards, and it became a 5-star. Then this one came out toward the end of the year, and I had to read it right away. And of course this was a 5-star as well. I just love these books so much. They go really quickly, like they're 2 middle grade novels. I can get through them really fast, so I feel like I'm gonna reread these really soon. And I was also told that the audiobook narrator is really fun as well, so maybe if I'm like slow on my audiobooks, I can just go ahead and listen to these 2, because why not? They were so much fun and I loved them so much. And the final book that I want to reread, not even sorry about this one, this is A Court of Mist and Fury, written by Sarah J. Maas. I am participating in February. It's going a little bit slow, not gonna lie. But I did finish A Court of Wings and Ruin, being the third and final book in this trilogy, and reading that book just made me desperately want to reread this one so much. I feel like if I was ever going to reread these books, this one would honestly be the only one that I would want to reread. This one was so amazing. It was like sublime romance and amazing characters. They're just great friends, and The Court of Dreams I love. Like, I'm a 32-year-old woman and I'm just like such a fan of this book so much. I'm just really upset that I had to go through A Court of Thorns and Roses to get to this. All right, so that was just a stack of books that I want to get to. I want to reread them. I have so many books on my shelves that I just haven't read yet. Like I said, I'm not a really big rereader. The only thing that I reread last year was Harry Potter, to be honest, and that had been about 10 years since I reread that one. So these are some, who knows when I'll get to them. It sounds nice in theory that I might reread them this year, but you never know. But those would be the priority books that I would like to reread. So let me know in the comment section below, are there any books that A, you reread consistently, or B, that you've been meaning to reread forever but other new stuff kind of gets in the way? Let me know those down in the comment section below. Otherwise, you can follow me on my social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. It's at whatcassread. Same as this channel, should be super easy for you to find. And then if you prefer Goodreads, that platform is always listed and linked down below for you. Otherwise, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later.